Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Maisha Prime News. My name is Rida Chebet Karim. Welcome. Raila Odinga on Friday took his Azimio la Umoja Gospel to Makueni County as campaigns heat up for 2022 showdown. The Orange Democratic Movement party leader visited several areas and addressed a rally in Watertown, which is widely viewed as the capital of Makueni. Maisha TV political journalist Antonio Sundwa with more.
The Orange Democratic Movement ODM leader Raila Odinga has been given a list of demands by the larger Akamba community as he seeks the country's top job.
Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga, tunakukaribisha hapa Ukambani. Mimi nimezaliwa hapa Makueni na nimeolewa Kitui. Na nasema siku ya leo ni kuonyesha ya kwamba we are one people. Kutoka Kitui, Machakos, Makueni, we are one people.
While attending the Azimio la Umoja mobilization rally in Makueni, the ODM leader was presented with a raft of demands by the Ukambani leaders in return for their support when the country goes to the ballot in under 9 months.
Mimi ninataka kuwauliza watu wa Ukambani, sisi watu wa Central tumepiga siasa miaka mingi, tumekuwa hatuko na baba, tumekuwa kila wakati tulikuwa tunasema baba hatoshi, na sasa tunasema baba anatosha. Mimi ninataka kuambia juzi, kuna mtu alisema baba ana kifunguo ya Mlima Kenya. Nataka kumueleza yeye, hiyo kifunguo yake ya Hurubaro, hii tinga imeenda. Si mnajua baba ni tinga. Tinga amepanda mlima, naye Hurubaro anashuka. Na tinga inaendelea baka itaenda kwa peak ile ya mwisho ya Mount Kenya.
Saa ingine na switch off. Kila siku naona nikiweka na muona nasema now what is this? Na switch off until anatoka. Na niseme kwa namna hii, na niseme honestly very painfully so. Kwa sababu 2013 mimi nilikuwa na Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta na huyu mwingine. Na tulisema tutapatia watoto wetu wote laptops. Yeye poor, and I'm sorry for President Uhuru Kenyatta. Yeye anashika hiyo barabara, tulisema tunafanya hii na hii na hii. Lakini yule alichukua amsaidie, anamfuruta miguu, anamrudisha nyuma. Badala ya laptop anatafuta huo baro.
In a memorandum handed to him by the outgoing Makueni governor, Mr. Kibwana, on behalf of the Lower Eastern region, the ODM leader was asked to commit on prioritizing the highlighted projects if the voters from the region was to support his presidential bid.
Sasa kuna furaha kufika hapa kukutana na nyinyi watu wa kabila ya Wakamba. Na Wakamba ni Wakenya. Tena Wakamba wamechangia kabisa kwa maendeleo ya taifa letu. Ukianza kule na Mwindi wa Mbingu ambaye alipigana sana na Wazungu, Paulo Ngei.
In a summarizing version that was read to him by Governor Kibwana, Raila was asked to prioritize and ensure the infrastructure projects, among them the construction of the Thwake Dam, are completed to ensure locals can access clean drinking water.
Sasa mimi nisema ati sasa tuko kwa harakati ya ukombozi wa tatu wa Kenya. Ukombozi wa kwanza ilileta uhuru, ya pili ilileta katiba mpya, ya tatu na ya mwisho ni ukombozi ya uchumi katika taifa letu, economic revolution. Na hapa ndio sisi tunaleta vijana wa Kenya wawe kwenye mstari ya mbele. Hiyo ndio sababu tumeleta hii mambo ya azimio la umoja. Kwa sababu gani? Hatuwezi kutekeleza wajibu wetu kama taifa kama tumetengana. Ndio sababu waanzilishi wa taifa letu walikuwa na ndoto. Hiyo ndoto iko katika wimbo wetu wa taifa ambayo inasema Mungu bariki nchi yetu ya Kenya.
Kibwana further asked Raila to focus and pay special attention to the needs of the poor Kenyans, stating that it was the dream and right of every citizen to lead a decent life. Other areas captured in the 20-page demands document included the completion of the Konza metropolis city that was cited as a job creation infrastructure that would address the high levels of joblessness in the region.
70% ya watu wetu wako chini ya miaka 35. Na vijana inasema the youth bulge. It can either be a blessing or a curse depending on how you make use of that potential. If you don't empower them, they become drunkards, drug addicts, criminals. They become basically a drag on the society. But if they are properly empowered, given proper education and skills, they become source for wealth creation in our nation. We want to make use of this youth resource in our country. Inawezekana. They did it in Korea, in Malaysia, in India. It can be done in the Republic of Kenya. Once they have required the requisite skills, we give them capital so that they can be able to become entrepreneurs.
The Makueni governor noted that the Konza project will not only be beneficial to the Ukambani region but to the East Africa region as well, as it will provide the much needed critical ICT infrastructure. On matters of education, the Ukambani leaders urged Raila to ensure the students in the region are enhanced in order to reduce the demand of local students traveling to other parts of the country in search of knowledge. The list also included the need to increase power supply from the current 25% coverage in the region in order to fast-track industrialization. Food shortage, which has been a problem in the region, was also captured in the list of demands, together with youth unemployment and poor road infrastructure.
Umeongea kwa mrefu sana juu ya mambo ya uchumi ya hapa Ukambani. Na nimesoma ile memorandum ambayo nimepewa hapa. Sasa nchi ya Ukambani hapa ni nchi ambayo iko na rotuba mingi eneo zingine. Ndio zingine kuna saa nyingine kama kuna ukame, kuna njaa mingi zaidi. Lakini sasa ile mvua inanyesha kwa fujo kabisa, ambayo inaleta mafuriko. Hiyo maji inabebwa, inaenda kwa mito inabeba na peleka baharini. Bahari haina haja na maji. Bahari yuko na maji ya kutosha. Nchi kavu ndio yuko na maji, ina haja na maji. Kwa hivyo sisi tunaweza kutumia mbinu zetu. Sasa ile mvua inanyesha kwa wingi, tunashinga mabwawa na vidimbwi, tunavuna maji. Ili ukame ikija, maji yuko ya kutosha ya kutumizi ya nyumbani na kwa wanyama na kadhalika. Inawezekana.
Antonio Sundwa, Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
And still remaining in Ukambani region, Deputy President William Ruto also took his campaigns to Ukambani, Kitui County. In his speech, the DP drummed up support for his bottom-up economic model. Let's have a look.
Mbaki ndio huyo akaelia. Karibu mheshimiwa. Hey! Watu wa Mutomo, habari zenu? Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Mimi jina mbake umakuwe kundukweta wakwa abonza nene siyange mezo nimewete mbake tiwo nanje nenda omutabekia ndo maitu nyekela nona pa mutomo omombe ripoti ino ningo twayata mimi mmenifurahisha kabisa na nikuambie naibu wa rais, leo hii gavana wetu anabeba watu kupeleka wote kukutana na tinga, kubeba magari 50 inaelekea huko. Hawa watu wako hapa hawajabebwa na mtu, wamejileta kwa hiari yao. Naibu wa rais, huyu tinga sisi tutakuchapia yeye kiboko. Kwa sababu tinga ametuzoea. Idhepe mondo zoe de mukamba ni Raila wa Odinga. Huyu mtu ametuangaisha, akatuangaisha, mwishowe akatuambia tusipige kura. Sim card. Taka kabisa. Huyu mtu lazima tumunyamazla. Hey. Asante sana naibu wa rais. Huku ni kwako. Na huyu tinga hatutamsikiza hata siku moja. Na tunataka kukuahidi hii kura yote. Na sasa tukitoka hapa tunaenda Kituiruro, tunaenda Ikuba, tuingie State House. Ya mwisho. Sisi tunapenda sana mheshimiwa wenu, Mheshimiwa Kaki. Sisi tunataka kuwaomba mumwambie akuje nyumbani, asikuje. Sisikii akuje, asikuje. Mutoma na wauliza Kaki akuje. Asanteni, amesikia. Kuna mheshimiwa mwingine hapa, mrembo wa mwingi filma. Pole. Salimia.
Embattled FKF President Nick Mwendwa has been arrested over alleged graft. This comes a day after being kicked out of office by sports CS Amina Mohamed. Mwendwa was arrested from Nyayo Stadium, where Harambee Stars were training, and taken to DCI headquarters for grilling. Bishebi Jr. brings us the full report on what transpired there.
Nick Mwendwa's problems escalated on Friday 12th after the embattled FKF boss was arrested and taken to the DCI headquarters on Kiambu Road. The Football Federation of Kenya Communications Officer Ken Okaka has confirmed. Okaka said Mwendwa was arrested at the Golden Tulip Hotel in Westlands, Nairobi, where he was meeting Harambee Stars players ahead of the Kenya-Rwanda World Cup qualifier match on Monday, November 15th. Mwendwa's arrest over suspected irregularities at FKF comes a day after Sports Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohamed disbanded the federation and formed a 15-member caretaker committee.
Then we shall move forward. I believe this will end because it's illegal and wrong. I want to reiterate that FKF is not part of the ministry. We are not part of the ministry. We are not part of government. They don't oversee FKF. FKF has its members. FKF has its board.
The government has taken action against the Football Federation of Kenya, FKF, after allegations of gross financial impropriety. On Thursday, November 11th, Sports Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohamed disbanded the federation that is led by Nick Mwendwa. The federation was disbanded after the CS received a report on the investigations into the massive fraud reported at the body. This was after the CS was presented with an audit report on FKF by Sports Registrar Rose Wasike. In her report, Wasike recommended further investigations to be carried out into the financial books of the federation. Following the recommendations, Amina went ahead to install a caretaker committee to lead the government's effort to reform the body. The committee will be headed by retired Judge Aaron Ringera. The committee will lead the federation for a period of 6 months.
The first recommendation is that DCI, NIS and ACC carry out further investigations to establish the extent to which the misappropriation of funds in FKF may have occurred, with a view to prosecuting those who may be found culpable. Second, the current officials of FKF be removed from office to pave way for further investigations pending conclusion.
Additionally, the CS also named the secretariat that will help in running the affairs of the FKF. Linda Ogutu will head the secretariat with the assistance of Michael Mushemi as the secretary and Lorraine Shitubi as joint secretary. At an earlier presser, embattled FKF boss Nick Mwendwa had claimed that the CS wanted him out of office after Amina directed the Registrar of Sports to undertake an inspection of the embattled body on October 14th. In a statement released by the Sports Ministry, Amina explained that the move was necessary given the deteriorating state of the management of football in the country.
3, a caretaker committee be appointed to manage the affairs of FKF for a period not exceeding 6 months. This has been successful in other jurisdictions in recent years, as you know. Countries such as Cameroon, Egypt, Ghana, and Chad, amongst others, have had caretaker committees in place. 4, a special audit of the books of accounts of FKF be carried out, and subsequent frequent future audits be carried out as well. 5, the government of Kenya to invoke Articles 17 and 58 of the FIFA Code of Ethics 2020 edition by informing FIFA Secretariat Investigation Chamber on the outcome of this inspection. 6, no bank account should be opened by FKF henceforth unless authorized by the Principal Secretary, who is also the accounting officer. Within the 6-month period, the caretaker committee will be in place. 7, the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Heritage and the Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund not to release any funds to FKF unless and until the previous funds are fully accounted for. And last but not least, the government should complete the public sensitization program through the Registrar's Office to enable members of the public, sports organizations, professional bodies, persons and officials to be well versed with the Sports Act and all other relevant laws.
The mandate of the caretaker committee shall comprise coordinating and ensuring the smooth running of FKF's operations, including team preparations of all local and international sports events.
The mandate of the caretaker committee shall comprise of the following: conduct all the affairs of Football Kenya Federation in accordance with its constitution, ensure that Football Federation of Kenya is in compliance with the Sports Act 2013, coordinate and ensure smooth running of FKF's operations, including team preparations for all local and international sporting events, coordinate elections of FKF in accordance with the Sports Act 2013 and the Sports Registrar's regulations, hand over Football Kenya Federation to the newly elected officials after a successful election.
And move fast. I'm sure today, as you are aware, we had an invitation to the Senate, and after that invitation and the session was over, we have received, as anticipated and as expected, a press release from the Minister's office claiming to install a caretaker committee at FKF. So first and foremost, I want to say that I have said severally that the minister all along has been trying to remove us illegally from office. I want to repeat again that this action is illegal and wrong for a minister who is supposed to help sports in this country make progress. to entangle herself in football politics. We have known this from the first day when she issued a press release.
For Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, I'm Wishabi Jr.
In a section of ODM youth leaders from Mount Kenya region have condemned the extorting of Deputy President William Ruto's convoy in Kondele on Wednesday, terming it unfortunate. This has been echoed by Mombasa gubernatorial politician Suleiman Shabal, who has now asked politicians to shun divisive politics which might escalate to political skirmishes during the electioneering campaigns ahead of 2022 general elections.
It's happening in Lowland because this question of stone is now too much, mostly in Kisumu. We went to Homa Bay and Migori. We didn't see such kind of things. So I'm requesting our people, our Luo people, that we should stick or we should follow the real politics.
What Kenyans are suffering from is political apathy. So we must engage in a political discourse that inspires hope, that gives them confidence, that makes them appreciate that if you don't get involved in the political processes which are meant to transform their lives, then we will continue to be where we are and where we have been. So we are trying to, and that's what we're saying, the transformational political leadership starts from people just registering to vote.
Hayo maneno yalitokea Kisumu jana. Hivyo watu wanaambiwa ati sijui ati mavijana ndio wanakuja ati watu wa ODM ndio wanakuja kupigana vita, ati walipewa pesa waweze ati kushambulia huyu mwenye chama wa UDA. Hakuna kitu kama hicho. Sisi watu kama ODM tunajua sisi hatunaga vita, na tulisema hii this round tunafanya hii campaign tukiwa na peace. Mimi vile naweza ambia vijana, this round tumefungua macho. Hata sisi wenyewe by the way kitambo hapa 2013 kutoka 2018 hapo tumetumiwa vibaya. Hatuko tumefungua macho, lakini this round tumekula carrot, tumefungua macho. Tunaona mbali sana, karibu kilomita 5 sahi. Na tumeamua this round hakuna vita tunafanya. Hata sisi wacha tuangalie ile mwelekeo tutaenda tukijua tuweza saidika kama mavijana. Juma vijana wetu hapa tukiongea ukweli, watu wanakunywa madrugs hapa wanaharibika. Vijana wamesoma, wako na madiploma, wako na madegree, lakini unapata hakuna kazi wanapata.
Usiwache wanasiasa waje wawagawanye mkaanza kupigana. Jamani, hiyo ni siasa mbaya. Tunakubaliana hiyo. Yule ambaye yuko na baba inua mkono. Yule ambaye yuko na William Ruto inua mkono. Unaona mimi niko na hawa jamaa wa UDA hapa. Sote tulitoka chama kimoja. Na sote ni wanasiasa pamoja. Na sote tumekaa hapa bila kupitiana ngumi wala kutukanana. Kwa nini wanasiasa wanawafanya nyinyi mugawanyike? My friend, siasa hiyo ni siasa mbaya. Na wewe mwenye bodaboda ufahamu kwanza kai kufani mwenye bodaboda mwenzako mwanzo. So siwache siasa ya kitaifa ikiingilia kwenu. Kama una support huku support, kama una support huku support. Ni sawa au si sawa hivyo? Mimi na support baba. Na jana William Samoei Arap Ruto alirushiwa mawe Kisumu. Lakini baba alikuwa kwanza kusema hiyo ni siasa mbaya. Na mimi nawaomba tuache siasa mbaya.
You do not throw stones. Exactly. You don't even need to heckle. Just go away. Kama utaki kusikia. Everybody has the right to be heard anywhere in this nation. And the politics of any sort of violence is something of yesterday. That is really primitive. And we must stop it. We must stop it completely. I apologize because you know that zone is a zone of ODM, of which I'm a strong member. I am sure those were not ODM members who did it. Those were individual thugs and individual people who decided that they are taking either a little money or matters into their own hands. That sort of intolerance is no longer going to be accepted in this nation. And we hope the police are going to catch those involved. We want to hear people condemn it all over the country.
Kakamega Governor and former Council of Governors Chairman Wycliffe Oparanya has laughed off an alleged plan by the One Kenya Alliance OKA to form a run-off at the 2022 presidential election. Speaking in Kakamega County, Oparanya argued that OKA core principles that include Musalia Mudavadi of ANC, Kalonzo Musyoka of Wiper, Gideon Moi of KANU, and Moses Wetangula of Ford Kenya were out to split votes. Philip Simiyu with more.
As the 2022 general election draws near, the leaders have continued forming the coalition in order to win the polls.
Kenya is either going to move forward or is going to move backward.
As the way of rescuing the Western community, the Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya is now calling on the Musalia Mudavadi of ANC and Moses Wetangula of Ford Kenya, who are among the OKA principals, to pull out from the coalition and join the winning coalitions.
Hao watu wa OKA kuna mahali wanaenda. Na ukikaa na watu wao wanasema tuko kwa public participation. Wanasema sisi tunataka runoff. Wewe unataka runoff ufanyie nini? Omaye runoff ule mtu wa kwanza hajapata 50+1. Na ukiwa number 1 unaunda serikali. Ukiwa number 2 you are the leader of opposition. Ukiwa number 3 utakuwa nini? You are among others. Sasa ukiwa number 3, number 1 amejipanga tayari, anaunda serikali. Number 2 anaunda opposition. Hauko kwa government, hauko kwa opposition. Sasa utakuwa wapi? Na sisi Waluhya tutakuwa kwa government tangu multi-party. All the time we have been in opposition. Na tunalialia, mbona government haifanyi miradi hapa? How can government do miradi hapa na wewe hujawapigia kura?
Preferring to UDA of Deputy President William Ruto and that of Raila Odinga ODM, Oparanya called on the Luhya leaders to join either DP's or Raila's side for the good of the Western community.
Assuming tujapata 50+1, wewe sasa uko katikati, unangojea number 1 akuja aongee na wewe au number 2 akuja afanye nini? Aongee na wewe ndio muunge mkono, wakienda runoff ndio ule unaunga mkono apate hiyo kiti. Na utaenda na masharti, utasema nataka nilipwe zile siasa, ile campaign tulifanya. Sasa ukilipwa hapo, kwa sababu huyu number 2 hapo na running mate tayari, huwezi kuchange running mate wake. Huyu number 1 ana running mate wake tayari, huwezi kuchange running mate kwa runoff. Sasa unataka ulipwe. Hiyo pesa ukilipwa itakuja kwa watu wa Luhya, itaenda wapi? Sasa unatakia runoff nini? Tumbo ya? Unatakia running off. Hii viti ya running off, and it might not be there. People can win the first round. What will you do if you are number 3 or number 4? Waluhya mtakuwa wapi?
Earlier on, the Kakamega boss mentioned the OKA coalition and any other upcoming coalitions as the donkey in the coming polls.
In any election all over the world, farasi ni ngapi? Nobody should teach him farasi ni 3. It has never happened. So if there are those 3 formations.
For Prime News Maisha Television, I'm Philip Simiyu.
And the National Assembly has approved the 2 nominees for appointment to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC. The members unanimously gave their consent to have Alfred Mtweta Mshimba and Monica Wanjiru Muiru serve as members of the EACC. On Wednesday, some legislators raised concerns over the ethnic composition of the commission, saying approving the two names will be going against the constitution.
I put the question, which is that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs in its report on its consideration of the nominees for appointment as members of Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, this House approves the appointment of Colonel Retired Alfred Mtweta Mshimba and Dr. Monica Wanjiru Muiru as members of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. And as our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Leaders from the North Rift region have been challenged to be at the forefront of conducting peaceful electoral events ahead of the 2022 general elections. The message was shared by the leadership of Sitam Church on Friday during a breakfast meeting between the church clergy and opinion leaders from the region.
Thank you. We know Eric, Director of a board meeting on Saturday when we shall look at those reports which we have not yet received, and based on the recommendations, we'll take appropriate action. On that day, we have released the students because we could not contain them in the school anymore. They were a bit riotous after the incident. And on Saturday, when we shall meet, is when we will decide how they will come back and what will happen after that.
The administration of a school cannot expel a child because as far as the law of the land is concerned now, it is only through the principal secretary who has the authority to expel a child. So we want to revisit all those issues such that the school board management have the mandate and the power to expel a child. And once a child is expelled, it means he or she cannot move to the next school.
I know my DCI personnel are doing very well. In fact, they are in a very advanced stage, and sooner or later, and I don't need to mince my words in this one. Some people will be arrested, irrespective of who they are in the school. They'll be arrested. Whoever was responsible for any of what happened, they should be prepared to be prosecuted.
Thank you. We know Eric, Director of a board meeting on Saturday when we shall look at those reports which we have not yet received, and based on the recommendations, we'll take appropriate action. On that day, we have released the students because we could not contain them in the school anymore. They were a bit riotous after the incident. And on Saturday, when we shall meet, is when we will decide how they will come back and what will happen after that.
The administration of a school cannot expel a child because as far as the law of the land is concerned now, it is only through the principal secretary who has the authority to expel a child. So we want to revisit all those issues such that the school board management have the mandate and the power to expel a child. And once a child is expelled, it means he or she cannot move to the next school.
I know my DCI personnel are doing very well. In fact, they are in a very advanced stage, and sooner or later, and I don't need to mince my words in this one. Some people will be arrested, irrespective of who they are in the school. They'll be arrested. Whoever was responsible for any of what happened, they should be prepared to be prosecuted.
The High Court has declined to lift the red alerts issued by the Kenyan government, preventing Miguna from traveling back to the country. Judge Hedrick Ongundi said there was no evidence showing that Miguna had been stopped from returning to the country. He noted that the burden of proof was on Miguna to show that the red alerts exist under a certificate of urgency. Miguna said the alerts had prevented Lufthansa and Air France Airlines from allowing him to board its planes for purposes of traveling to and entering Kenya on November 16th or any other day.
Kenyan government.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has directed international security institutions to heighten vigilance and surveillances across the country following the unfolding security situation in the region. In a statement released by the Office of the President's spokesperson, Kanze Dena, the head of state directed all international security institutions to be on high alert following the security situation in the region. Uhuru gave the instructions during Friday, November 12th, National Security Council meeting. And moving on, detectives have recovered 19 million shillings in fake US dollars after an operation to crack a fake diamond ring led them to the discovery. The fake currency concealed in a briefcase was recovered in an undercover operation by crime research and serious crime detectives. A couple was arrested in connection to the scheme where a city-based management consultant was swindled over 11 million shillings in a diamond scam.
Found that it is ferrying some porridge flour from that end. There were some sacks, and inside there is a consignment of 15 drums of 250 liters each, and it is containing, we are suspecting it is ethanol.
And it is time for My Hustle, My Life, My Story by Anthony Osundwa.
The country today needs the power to hustle, even if it means coming from something small but with hopes of getting greater results as time goes by. This in turn needs a lot of patience, work, discipline and good communication with the people around you.
Ni miaka 20 sasa kama nafanya kazi yangu.
We met Elijah Mogaka, an electronic dealer in Bungoma town, Bungoma County.
Mimi naitwa Elijah Mogaka. I work at the Bungoma County Hospital. I'm one of the proprietors of this place. It's a long story. We started from scratch. Then we started doing all this electronic business. But we are still doing well. We are creating jobs for our youth. Because we have youths who are graduating from universities, from these defects. Then they don't have work. So they have to come here and do it. Most of these one they have diplomas, right? They have diploma all stars.
He narrates on how he began with his medical career, but instead started an electronic repair shop with an idea of creating more job opportunities to other youths who have the passion of working.
I work at the Bungoma County Hospital. I'm one of the proprietors of this place. This thing we started from scratch. So we started from scratch, from a small duka. Then we grew, then we started bringing. Now we have about 8 employees.
Sasa nimeshika vizuri kazi, tunasaidiana wenzetu hapa. Hivyo tunamaliza bora mkate wetu ya kila siku ipatikane.
Their products here, and they don't pick them. After we make them, they don't take them back. Yeah. Sasa atupati hiyo faida yenye inatakana tupate. Are you ready? Managerial no problem. Managerial is HR, human resource. Hakuna problem. We have enough human resource. Management is okay. No managerial problem.
Ni ukweli hii kazi yetu customer ndio wenye saa zingine customer wako na makosa. Unaweza fanya kitu umefanya, saa zingine umefanya hii iko hivi lakini si makosa yetu. Mtu anaacha hapo kitu akuje kuchukua hivyo.
He urges the national government to recognize small-scale traders and any other person doing a hustle, as this will enable youth grow the economy.
Let me assure them, let me use the word I think it is what. Let me assure them, the county government should make sure that these people who are graduating from TFETs, they are embedded in small business like ours. Yeah, because they are making money from here. Not necessarily they can be put in formal employment, right?
He urges his fellow traders to trust the process, always work hard and always be prayerful.
Let them up their game. Yeah, it's not easy, but let them up their game.
Antonio Sundwa, Maisha Prime News, Maisha Television.
Naam, shukrani sana kwa kuwa nami hadi tamati wa Maisha Prime News, and it is Friday. I wish you a wonderful weekend.